soon as I open the studio door, it's Prince and two older white women, right? And I'm like, holy shit. Nicest guy in the world. I know people love to say this when someone dies, but he walked over to us. He had gloves on. He took one of his gloves off. He shook all of our hands, soft as hands, all right? like real soft hands.
And he holds my hand, soft hands, by the way. I felt like if I squeezed him too hard, the skin would slide off and fall on the floor.
Oh, I said, okay. And I go, can we get a picture? He goes, no, I don't take pictures. Now, mind you, most of the time, if a celebrity tells you they don't take pictures, it's because they don't want to cause a riot or because they're not dressed well. Because if you're in the public and you ask a celebrity to take a picture, and everybody want to take a picture, right? Prince, it was just me, Angela, and Envy. He didn't want to take a picture. He was dressed to the nines. Perm, purple cape on, killing him, right? He was like, I just don't really take pictures like that. Prince only gets seen when he wants to be seen.
He's committed to being a superhero.
Yes. So I go, yeah, I understand. Prince turns around, floats away. Now, Prince was at least 6 to 8 inches off the ground, levitating as he floated away. I don't care if you believe me or not.
Biggest asshole in the world.
So listen.
Charlene.
Listen.
Shut the f up.
Watch this. I take my phone, even though Prince says don't take a picture. As he's floating, I'm like, I take the picture. Yeah. Right? I show everybody. I'm like, look at this shit. Everybody like, yo, it really look like he's floating. I'm like, he is floating.
Yeah.
After a minute, I showed Envy, I showed Angela, I showed my producer Q. We all come to the consensus, I'm floating. After a minute, the picture that was in my phone, that's what the picture was, it turned black.
Charlene, why would you even just make that story up?
I didn't make it up. The picture in my phone turned black.
So I jump on stage and I do all this and you know, there were some people that I knew who were not with us but ended up being at the club, and they took the footage and magically all the footage disappeared from their phones. So I have nothing to show you.
When I went to go see Prince at SNL last year, when Chris Rock hosted, right? Never saw Prince walk on stage. Never saw Prince leave the stage. That just appeared. In fact, it was one moment where he finished performing, he jumped off the stage and vanished, right? So I look at my wife to the right of me. I look at the white dude that was sitting by me to the left. The white dude goes, nah. And I go, yeah, nah.
I'm sitting there talking to the person who's talking, and in the back of the room, I see Prince materialize. You know, not out of thin air, but suddenly he's there. He's going, okay, we rule our lives by this. And he pulls a Bible out of his back pocket. And I'm like, I didn't even know he had a back pocket. Because the outfits he wears don't really lend to pockets. But not only that, but he's got a Bible in a pocket Bible. I'm like, this is f***ed up.
Lots of time with the man over the years. I've seen him in very frightening conditions after using drugs. Now, I cannot say that I ever saw him use the drugs. I never saw him actually take them. He would retire to another room to take whatever the drugs were. And when he would come out of the room, he would be very violent, very aggressive. His eyeballs would disappear literally from his eyes as if they vanished. He had been very violent, and these women will be coming forward over the time. He had been extremely violent to a number of women in his life, including myself. Several women were put in hospital. While poor Prince was under the effects of these medications. Now, these are girlfriends. I've lost contact with these women myself, but over the years I have been speaking to them. They're telling me about, look, Prince was a guy who was into some devil worship. And I know this sounds mental, but it's not. There are people who are into it. I've been in his house. I know what he was into. He was into some devil business. Now, these girls that he's gone out with, not only state he was violent, but the man was able to have flying around the room. He could make that man could make something fly from one end of the room to the other, right? It's not just drugs he's into, it's darkness, is what I'm trying to tell you. There's a darkness that you're going to get. You're going to go down a road now in investigating this death that is going to lead you into a darkness that you might not have imagined could exist in show business.
Prince, as one of the biggest artists of all time, played a major role in leading his generation deeper into the satanic revolution as he mixed salacious sex with spirituality. It was fitting that Prince's band was called the Revolution. In his song Sexuality, he sings about the New Age revelation, and he sings, "I'm talking about revolution, we gotta organize." It is evident that Prince is being used by the same evil spirits that are possessing other rock stars. Prince's overwhelming musical gifts can be attributed in part to the demonic beings that are possessing him and using his body as a tool for satanic subversion. Prince, for a time, went so far as to drop the usage of his name because he was unsure if the spirit living in his body with him wanted him to use it or not.
But during our conversation, the artist shared a very personal discovery he's recently made about himself. This is very interesting.
Recent analysis has proved that there's probably two people inside of me, just like a Gemini, and we haven't determined what sex that other person is yet.
Did you say I'm not even sure what sex it is, or he or she or it is? Did you say that?
Yeah.
I thought I heard that. You found out that there is another person.
Yeah.
Living inside you.
This is turning into a civil interview.
And just what message are these demonic beings communicating through Prince besides sexual perversion? Prince's song, 1999, appears to be about refusing to repent in the end times. It is stated, "I was dreaming when I wrote this, so forgive me if it goes astray. But when I woke up this morning, I could have sworn it was Judgment Day." Prince goes on to sing about the coming destruction and how he didn't even care and he's going to keep on partying through 1999 into 2000. When looking at the front cover of Prince's album 1999, in the middle of the name Prince, we see Prince in the Revolution written backwards as taught by Aleister Crowley. We also see that the P for Prince is also an upside-down flame. When this album is inverted, we see more to the picture that at first glance doesn't meet the eye. Now we can see 666, the number of the Antichrist, with a phallic pointing down. Prince backwards is made into evil, E-V-I-L, and then the upside-down P denotes fiery destruction. The demons who are using Prince and other rock stars are seeking to bring the world into the Antichrist system and eventually into eternal destruction in hell.